So, Jean, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I've heard that salt generators can work in my market, but our company's had no experience with them. Could you explain a little bit to my staff so we can get started selling salt generators?
It's a very good question. I'm really happy you asked that question because I was just coming to talk to you about our autopilot salt chlorine generators. And if you have 10, 15 minutes for me, it would be my pleasure to show you what I prepared for you so we can go over the different advantages and how it works. Really
That's great. That's great, Jean.
So
Tell me what you think I need to know.
if you don't mind, I have one copy for you, and we're going to go over the different presentations here.
Okay.
So Autopilot has been on the market since 1976, so that's not a new company. So, but even if it's that age, it's still doing a lot in research and development and getting into new products, as we will see later on. So what is a salt chlorine generators? What does it do? Well, you don't have to buy chlorine anymore whenever you get into that. You don't have red eyes, you don't have chlorine odor, and it reduces your chemical maintenance. It's really an easy service tool.
Just as a point of interest, what does that mean, reduces chemical maintenance? I don't quite understand
It means that it's going to replace the fact that you have to put chlorine in your water. Here, the salt chlorine generators going to do it for you 24/7. You will not have to take care of that anymore.
Does it have an impact on the other things that I add to the pool?
It does not, but you have to understand that as for everything, you need to have a water chemistry well balanced in your water. We will talk about that a little bit later on.
Okay.
And it's everything that needs to be balanced, of course.
Okay.
So people are gonna tell you, oh, about salt, really, but actually, autopilot works at low range of salt, and you don't have that salt taste that some people are talking about. It gives many advantages. It's the feeling of the water is very soft, as we say, no red eyes, and the salt cost is very low. So you're going to tell me why salt chlorine generators? Well, as we say, salt chlorine generators work 24/7. So it's going to do in, day out, it's going to take care of your pool. One more time, you still have to make sure your water is well balanced. We'll see a little bit about that.
You said 24/7, Jean?
The salt chlorine generators work by itself. You don't have to do any input in there. Whenever you have programmed it at the beginning, it's good to go.
Well, we only run our pools from 8 until 5 during the day, so that's why I asked that question.
Well, yeah, but I mean, of course, it will work depending of the demand of the pool. So it will work like that.
Okay.
So it's probably the main objection people get when you're talking about swimming pool business. Oh yeah, but the maintenance, it's going to cost a lot of money. It's a drag. You have to put chlorine and everything. So salt chlorine generators is really giving an answer to that objection to people who want to buy a pool but don't want to have all the hassle to go with it.
I have a hotel. Will they work on public pools too?
We do have, we'll see at the end of the presentation, the Pro for commercial. But of course, we have to check with your regulations. In some countries, it's forbidden for now to use salt chlorine generators.
Okay.
So we'll go over that. So no chlorine odor, no red eye, everything is taken care of. So how does it work actually? Well, the cell is like a battery. It has plus, minus. And the water goes through the cell blades, which brings electric conduction between the blades and creates a chemical reaction, electrical chemical. So I don't want to get too much into details, but here it's explained, that the salt is split into gas chlorine and soda ash. The gas chlorine contact of water becomes hypochlorous acid, which is an active chlorine, and then sodium hypochlorite. So that's how you get really to sanitize your water. And when it's done, with UV and the water, active chlorine gets back to salt, and the chemical reaction is reversed. You have to know that there is a bad factor, is the temperature. If the temperature is too low, then you reduce your water conductivity. So you're going to get less production of chlorine, and also as the water is colder, you have also a production of oxygen that attacks the ruthenium that's on the blades. And it means that you're going to have a shorter life. So it's very important that you take care of the temperature of the water above everything else.
What temperature are you talking about?
55 degrees Fahrenheit is the minimum we advise. Below that, you might have problems. So we get into how it works, conductivity. So as you see here, we have two blades. We have a plus and a minus, like we talked at the beginning. And if the high pH surface, if we had no reverse, we would have a scale formation on the blade, which we don't want, because whenever we have scale, then we don't produce chlorine anymore. That's why now almost all the systems, not only autopilot, but almost all the system has what we call reverse polarity. And what it does actually, so just like it says, the plus becomes minus, minus becomes plus. So it dissolves the scale on the pH surface, on the low pH surface. Now this also is different from one water to the other. So if you have a hard water or a soft water, of course, you're going to have more or less production of calcium. And it's very important to know, because the fabric we put at 4 hours, reverse polarity. So it does automatically. But you might not need 4 hours, or you might need more than 4 hours. You might need to do it every 2 hours, for example, if it's too much calcium. So one more time, we get back to the water chemistry. It's important to know how is your water. Now we get to our different products, and it's the first, it's the Poolpilot EcoNano. It's our new baby. It's a beautiful new product that our research and development created to be on the price range of our competition. As you know, there is big competition in any product nowadays, but it is with all the parts that we have in either the higher ends of our production. So it's a very affordable product. The only difference is here that we have an inline cell with a flow switch, and it works at very low salt levels, and it operates at flow rates as low as 20 GPM. So this is a beautiful product, up to 95 cubic meters or 25,000 gallons. So this is a real good product to start with autopilot systems. Now on the page after, we have our patented manifold system. What is it? Actually, we are the only one to have that system, that patented system. And why is it important? It's because thanks to that system, that manifold, we have a flow that's regulated thanks to the valve at the bottom. We have a debris screen, and then we have the tri-sensor. Tri-sensor is very important because it is talking to our power supply, and it tells it what's the flow, what's the salt, what's the water temperature. So this is the tri-sensor there. And we will see a little bit later on, we have cells that can have different numbers of blades. And as you see on the left side, cells of your choice, we have 40, 50, 60, and even 80,000 gallons, depending on the cell we use. So with that patented manifold, all the products that we are talking about now have that product with it. So whenever you're going to buy a digital nano, you're going to get the power supply as you see it here, and then you're going to get the manifold. And as we saw before, the cell going to be different from one product to the other. So we have the nano, which goes up to 28,000 gallons. We have the Nano Plus, which goes up to 32,000 gallons. These are definitely the two best sellers in our range, because you cover really most of the swimming pools in size.
Can I ask a question about
Sure.
that? How do you how do you decide which one you need?
Well, we do have a sizing program, and one more time, it tells you if you have 28,000 gallons, you're going to need the Nano. If you have 32,000 gallons, the Nano will not make it. You're going to need the Nano Plus.
Some of our pools use more chlorine than others, though. How
Yeah.
do you,
One more time, there we have a sizing program where you put all your input concerning the number of baths, you know, the volume, of course, water temperature, how much you run the pump. Then it's going to tell you how many cells and which product you're going to need. So these two have their own cells and manifold, so you cannot change them. But if you go to the Pool Pilot Digital, the next one, there we are talking about bigger power supply, so we can use that power supply with bigger pools. And what we do actually, we keep the same power supply, but then we use different manifolds, as we saw before, depending on the size of the pool. So this is for the Pool Pilot Digital. And then we get into the Pool Pilot Professional. There you can have as much as 6 cells in line. And one more time, when we get back to our sizing program, it will tell you, okay, you're going to need 6 cells for that swimming pool. That's fine, we have 6, but it can be 9. So what do we do when it's 9? Well, of course, we put 5 and 4, depending on how you want to handle it, or 6 and 3, but everything is, the advantage is all in line, and it's very compact, so it doesn't take much room, and it works very well. It has been installed in many commercial pools here in the United States. Now you're going to tell me, okay, this is all fine, but how do I know how it works? You know, how do I install those products? Well, with each product, you have a beautiful operation manual here, which explain very easily what you have to do when you install your system, water chemistry, and everything you need to know. So here it's talking about the Nano and the Nano Plus. As I told you, it's the main sold in our range of products. And here you just go through step by step, and it's very easy. And also you have to know that if English is not your language, it's also in Spanish, in German, and in French. So I hope we're going to do some business with Autopilot chlorinators. You're buying a lot from us nowadays, so I think it's a very good product to add to your presentation of our products.
how long does the cell last, Jean?
That's a very good question, and I'm going to give you the answer from Normandy, where there is no real response to that, answer to that. It's really depending of different factors. First, water chemistry. Do you take care of your water chemistry? If not, you're going to create calcium on the blades. Then your cell will eventually get bad very quickly. How many people are in your swimming pool? Do you have mainly 4 or 6 people, or every weekend do you have 20 people in your swimming pool? Then you're going to need more production of chlorine. So of course your blades going to be used a little bit more quickly. I would say that here in Florida, on average, it's about 3 years probably, but it's 12 months a year. So if you use your pool 4 months a year, so of course you multiply by 3 that length. But it's very difficult to say how many hours or how many months it's gonna last, because there are a lot of factors that influence the length of the life of your cell.
Okay, thanks. So you're saying it lasts 3 years?
On average, yeah. If we take care of the water chemistry, if the temperature is taken care of, so if we take care of all the factors that have to be taken care of.
The other thing I've heard is that the salt generators cause corrosion. You know, we have heat exchangers
Yes, and
gas heaters, and we have some
yeah.
boilers that are tied to heat exchangers. What about that problem?
Actually, it's not correct. It's not most of the time the salt chlorine generators that create those problems. We get back to the water chemistry. But of course, all these people that sell everything that's stainless steel or linked that can have some type of corrosion will always blame salt chlorine generators. But it's not really the case.
Okay. So you don't have any corrosion problems with your customers?
Not created by the salt chlorine generators. Whenever we have corrosion problems, and we do have sometimes in spas or different places, I've seen, whenever we did the water chemistry, the problem was coming from there, from the water that was not well balanced.
All right. Well, you said something before about sizing it. I've got a 100 cubic meter pool that customer asked me about it, and I'm just wondering, how do I size that?
Well, I'll send you the link for the program, but the point is, okay, we have the volume there. We also need to have the number of basses, how long the pump is running, and whenever we factor all these elements, we will decide which products we need.
So how much do these things cost?
Well, we have very affordable prices now, because when you go to the first EcoNano, for example, we are talking here of a product that's under $1,000. So there is no doubt that
Is that my cost, or are you talking about the customer cost?
Customer cost. So it means that the customer in very short time going to save money by buying that product compared to the chlorine he has to put in everything.
Of course, you said I have to replace the cell every 3 years. Is that $1,000 or how
No,
much?
the cell is more in the range of $200, something like that. Yeah.
For the customer?
No, for you. That's for you.
Okay. What else should I know?
Well, Autopilot, as well as Aquacal has been on the market for many years. So whenever a new product like EcoNano is coming on the market, you can be sure that that product has been tested. We don't send on the market products that we are not sure of them. And of course, the basics are the same for all the products. So the engineers know what to develop. And also, you have to understand that the export division of our company, we export in 110 countries in the world. So we do not want to have problems with our material. We have big customers in Thailand who buys, hundreds of these products for years, and we don't have problems with those.
Okay. Anything else?
I think that's it for me.
Okay.